I left off with part 3. I think I was saying about being mentally engaged in what you're doing. I cannot tell you that what we do is dangerous. I can't say that. In all honesty, my entire time worked in the oil and gas industry, I've worked in some situations that were unsafe because of the people that I was with when I first got into the oil field. But they taught me, hey, everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't on the same level, and some people are silly and not focused on what's going on and then being ready to adapt. I work with the best people. I don't care who you are in the entire state of North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, Texas, Pennsylvania, Louisiana, Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, California, New Mexico, Utah, or wherever you at. I work with the best people. I can testify to this myself. They can testify to themselves. That's the biggest difference for me. That's hard to find, the best, man. Like, I can't put that into words. That's hard to find, the best people. You can say whatever you want to. You can think about however you want to think about it. The amount of experience that's over here versus some of the other places, and the stuff that I've been a part of and seen us do at work, on location, in a man basket. I don't know how many feet that is in the air anyway, but we've got stuff done that would have taken 2, 3, and 4 days. We've got stuff done that would have taken 2.5 shifts, and we've knocked it out in 1 shift just because we're working together as a team. Because everybody's a part of the team. And if you ain't part of the team, then this is the wrong place for you. But I ain't. Key Energy, that's another company. They do work over rig. And that's them coming right now. Yes. Yeah, that's work over here. You can tell, bro. He said at the end of that day, how they be looking. Yeah. Another company hired is called Black Hawk. They do work over here. Them guys at the end of the day, them, Flowback, and the guys who do, I think it's called pipe testing or something like that. Like, those guys, at the end of the day, if you see them, those are those images you see going around the internet of somebody dirty from head to toe. That's those guys. And shout out to all y'all that might be watching this video, man. I ain't throwing no hate at nobody. I ain't knocking nobody for what y'all do, man. Y'all make good money too, so that's all. That's all that matter, bro. That's all that matter, man. Y'all trying to get what y'all want to get done. That's all that matter. I hope that whoever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope that you're also working with great people. My first place I worked at in the oil and gas industry taught me a lot of stuff. I learned that everybody ain't the same, all crews ain't the same, and I was not on the best crew. It kind of taught me, like, okay, I need to look around and see what's going on. When it's time to work, who's going to the work to go do it? Who's standing around talking? Alright, so we're working and y'all are standing around talking. We could get this work done faster if y'all would stop talking and let's get this work done. And we could get done more efficiently if y'all would just keep going till you get done. I cannot stress that enough. Come to work, be on time, do your job, mind your business, and don't harass your coworkers. There's nobody on planet Earth that can argue with those simple 5 steps of accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish and whatever you want to do, personally or whatever else. So keep those in mind. Make sure you can hold your own weight. Make sure that when it's time to go, you can go, and keep going until you're done. I worked over this off days. I worked about 4 of my off days, and I did the same thing working over that I did when I'm on my regular crew. I keep going. I keep going until we're done. Because the more you stay busy, the faster the day goes. It's one thing, you know, okay, once you get to the point where you're putting pipe in the hole, awesome, great. That means you're at the chill point of it. And hopefully nothing breaks or tears up, but you can have a nice chill until shift change, or even a next day where all of the rest of the day is chill. You're just checking equipment, filling up stuff, checking for leaks. Oh man, that's another one I got to tell y'all. Look at here. Put your hands on the equipment. Touch it. You see some hoses, get you some gloves. I ain't got no gloves on here. But get you some impact gloves. Put your hands on some of the hoses. I know they're gonna be hot, so just rub your hands on them. Do you feel any chafing marks? You really need to check that stuff, man. You really, really, really need to check chafing hoses. Man, that stuff can take equipment out, because it'll usually start slow. And if you don't see it then, it'll just get progressively worse. We've had this happen multiple times with this air hose on the twin pump. The problem is this air hose gets hot, and you can't put this air hose up against something else unless I'm trying to think. You would have to put some high heat hose, or run that metal hose and then put another hose all the way around it, and then zip tie it everywhere that it could touch something. Most of the stuff on this equipment is already done like that, but some of it may just touch something else. You also have pinholes. Pinhole is where you're running a piece of equipment and it just wears a little small hole in something. I talked about this in another video. If it's not facing in a direction, or if it's not misting in an amount that you could see, you may not notice it. We had this happen on the hydraulic engine, and I'll never forget. I was doing my rounds that day. I'd already done my rounds. Went to the bathroom, came back, started playing on my phone, and I was supposed to go do another round and just go look at the twin pump, and something said, "Man, let me go over here by the deck engines and just have a look." As I'm walking towards the deck engine, I'm seeing what looks like smoke, and as I get closer to the deck engine, it looks like the ground is wet outside, and it's dry as hell. It ain't been raining at all, and as I get closer, I smell oil. More specifically, oil kind of smells the same, but motor oil and hydraulic kind of have a bit of a different smell to it. But anyway, as I get closer to it, like I can smell it, then I could see like the oil mist on my glasses, but I didn't see where it was coming from. And I'm looking underneath stuff, and I'm looking at the obvious stuff around me, and then I'm like, okay, it's got to be coming from the engine room. I run across, look up there, and this thing looks like I wish I'd had some video of it at the time, but a little pinhole from that hydraulic line, and this line was made of metal, had worn its way through, and it looked like somebody had a pressure washer with a really, really small nozzle. spraying out. And that was something averted. We were able to get another line on that, but we didn't have a metal line that we could put on, because where the hydraulics come out, that was the high pressure side, and you couldn't have a, and we didn't have a hose that size. You couldn't have a hose connection there. It had to come out and curve, and it had to be metal. Otherwise, you would have ran it for maybe an hour, and it would have just wore another hole right through, you know, like a rubber or synthetic line. Oh, that's another thing when it comes to rubber hoses, all of that kind of stuff. Take your time and look at your hoses. Check to make sure that if they're on the ground, see how much wear and tear they have on them. Turn them over. If your company doesn't have a policy of what they do with hoses, what's the limit to the condition? Oh, that's another one. What's the limit to the condition that, okay, they'll allow the hoses to get to this point, but once you can see some threads, okay, that hose has to be removed. Now, you can use that hose, just make sure when you reuse it for the next pad or whatever, you turn the hose over. Here's a problem you're going to run into. Everybody's not going to do that. So since everybody's not going to do that, remove the hose, be done with it. It's just going to cause another problem later on down the road. And you can't afford problems like that once you start going in hole. Once you start putting pipe, once you start pumping, that stuff has to be continuous until you're done, and then you can stop and do whatever it is that you need to do. It's so easy to sand a well off. It's so easy to get stuck down hole when you have something when you have something integral that goes wrong, that causes you to lose your agitation, your pressure, or anything that causes a stall down hole. So, trying to think what it is. Clean everything. When you're rebuilding pumps and stuff, when you're not stressed, or when you're not under a time limit to hurry up and get it done, take your time and clean it. Clean it, wipe it off with a rag, brake clean it, anti-seize, white grease it, or motor oil it, whatever you're gonna do. If it's something that's gonna be together for a while, I would say white grease and anti-seize, or motor oil and anti-seize. If you know it's gonna be coming apart every certain number of days, you can use motor oil, it's fine. But some of this stuff, you may have a problem with it one day, you may not have another problem with it for a month. It all depends on the wear and tear. Really pay attention to. Man, I gotta stop the video here again, man. We done got to talking some good conversation, man. I gotta stop the video again, man. We might as well just have a conversation about our fluid pump maintenance. Yeah. Peace. Y'all know who it is.